Good morning. Good morning. We're going to go ahead and jump right into our pre market analysis plan of action. So, I wanted to go ahead and get started. Pretty much, I just wanted to let you know as well. Last week, I just kind of took a mental break from trading, and now I'm back at it for some continuation as of right now. So, we're going to get kick started with our Sunday pre market analysis. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just get started. Pretty much from here, we always got to start with our forex factory. So with forex factory, very straightforward. We have our Sunday information, and then going into Monday all the way for the week. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this just to kind of see if anything plays a part in our pre-markets, like our pre-market game plan, and then notate it as well, just so therefore we have it. And then, of course, we go through it every single day just to confirm the informations that's pretty much happening on that day. So, on here, if you don't already have it, go to forexfactory.com, and this will go ahead and get you signed up on here. It's free, of course. Now, with this right here, we do have some alerts that you can set with this. So it's great to go ahead and set alerts on very important, you know, news events that are happening. So right here on Sunday, all we really have is some yellow folders, not really too much coming out. All news events are coming out after the open. The market opens tonight around 4 o'clock p.m. CST. So therefore, just kind of I'm watching this out. Not too much going on here with yellow folders, kind of scrolling through Monday. Monday, we got PMI. So I have a news or a notification on here. When you click notification, it has data release. So right whenever the news comes in, I don't need a header. I just get an email. I get a 1 hour warning and then a data release itself. So that's what I get right here. So therefore, I get notified about the news event. So this is important to me. Now, I don't trade AUD anymore, so I can actually remove this. So unsubscribe. So this one isn't going to really affect me because I don't trade AUD. So if I was trading AUD, this would be an important matter. One of the three, since they're all at 9:30, you could, for example, click on this notification. You can click on just the data release itself for an email, and then that's it. But if you want to set like a 10-minute warning or a 1 hour warning, in addition, you could, but I don't need that. So same thing. I don't need this one. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it. So these are coming out at 9:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Based upon their time zone. Coming into Tuesday, so we have a little news. We have some PMI on Monday, and then coming in on Tuesday, we have job openings. So this would be a red folder as of right now for USD. So this could play a factor in gold potentially, determining if the market is bearish or bullish, in the sense of job openings, more jobs for the U.S. economy. That could result in some opportunities that could push price higher in the sense of the dollar, but could bring gold back down in the sense of like, okay, jobs are opening back up, so the economy is looking a little better, stuff like that. And then you have New Zealand right here. I don't trade New Zealand. Again, red folder. Just continuing to scroll down. Wednesday. Now you can categorize all of these just to pop up orange and red. For me, I just have it for everything. But you can choose to opt out, like opt that at the very top whenever you're searching. So right here, Wednesday, we have EU. That's going to be a orange folder, and then USD. We have two red folders. We have PMI again, and then non-farm employment change. So this one's going to be one that I've noticed that has a little bit of an effect on gold specifically. So this one, I want to know about 1 hour and data release. I actually do want to do a 10-minute warning as well. So therefore, I'm going to get 3 emails. I'm going to get a 1 hour email, 10-minute warning, and the data release itself. So with that one, this one usually can move gold, significantly, either to the upside or downside. This just kind of goes through unemployment changes, so this could affect the market as well in that regard. So let's just continue down. So Thursday we have some GBP. Now you can see that there's 4 different news events coming here, and it's all listed for 6 a.m. I just have one of the 4 notified. So therefore, if I don't want the 10-minute warning, I just want the 1-hour warning and then the time that it comes in. This is just kind of telling me the monetary policy summary. You can sign up for any of these additional if you want. I currently don't want those. I just want to get notified that this news event did come out. And then outside of that, we have some more GBP, some more EU, and then some USD right here for unemployment claims. EU, once again, CAD and AUD. So Thursday is going to be a very busy day. No matter what pair you're kind of trading, this is going to be a day of news events. USD, not too much critical with this unemployment claim, but it'll cause a little bit of a ripple. And then going into Friday, we have Canada USD. So average hourly earnings. I don't need all of that. I just need these 2. There you go. And then unemployment claims, I do want to have that one staying. Unemployment rate. I don't think I need that one directly. Non-farm employment change. Yes, I do want that one. I want all of those. Unemployment rate. And this is Canada or USD? Sorry. Oh, Canada. Okay. So I trade CAD, but I don't trade that often, so I'll keep it, but I updated it as well. So kind of coming down all the way to the end of Friday, we also have CAD here and USD here. So just to kind of pinpoint, we have a lot of news events on Friday morning time as well. And then let's just kind of go into Sunday of next week. So everything's after the open, so no need to worry about that. Saturday, no news events currently coming out, so we're looking good at holding trades over the weekend. So yeah, mainly the days are going to be Friday and Thursday that are going to have the most news events. We do have a Wednesday news event for USD, and then Tuesday, I believe it was. No, Monday. Yeah, so not too much news events coming on throughout the week, but on Friday and Thursday are going to be the main ones that are going to have the most news events. So keep that in mind, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into the charts. So let's see if I can stop sharing and switch over to the chart. Perfect. All right. So we are going to start with our weekly time frame on every single one, and then we're going to continue to make those adjustments moving forward. So on here, we have some stop lights that are, this one's old, right? All right, let's go ahead and just kind of look at price action. We had an overall leg up, we had an overall move down, and now we are starting to look at a possible continuation with this overall move. So if we put a Fibonacci, just to kind of show you from A to B, right? Price came all the way down to just about the 50% zone of this overall move. Now, if you wanted to utilize this pivot point right here up to this move before the overall pullback, you can see that this stopped right around the 61, a little bit lower than the 61, between 61 and 78, and then gave a nice reversal to be a bullish buy. And then we just been pretty much in this whole buy opportunity from then on out. So we had this huge bullish engulfing bar. I was over here trying to sell off of here. I should have just been waiting for these buy opportunities since I saw it before. But I got persuaded into looking for sell opportunities down to potentially this mid-level and even down to potentially these lows right here, just because we were in a downtrend in this move right here. Now I was kind of looking at, obviously this was a setup for a down move here. So I'm not mad that I was looking for sells. I'm just upset that, I did miss, unfortunately, this buy opportunity. But if I'm not mistaken, it didn't even give me a full buy confirmation of what I would have been looking for, because I would have looked for a pivot point from A to pivot point B, which is here. And it didn't exactly get to my 50%, which I was selling to. So even with this said, it didn't exactly get to where I would want it to get to in order for me to buy based upon the weekly time frame. Now on the daily time frame, that could have been slightly different. I don't know why I keep on clicking the wrong ones. So on the daily time frame, yeah, I mean, I would have looked for the same Fibonacci. So unfortunately, it didn't get me the 50% pullback. So for that reason, I didn't get in for a buy. So that one's straightforward. So this one I didn't even have the opportunity for. So now we are currently in this bullish move from A to B, right? And now if we get this pullback to the 50%, which we're almost there already based upon how the market acted over last week, we wicked up and came all the way down to the bottom. Now, this is the thing that you got to keep mindful of, is if we're looking at past data, right, we can see that we wicked at this area before heading down. Now, this area specifically, and if we keep on scrolling over, we can see long term, right? We had a lower high here based upon this lower high, and now we could be potentially making a lower high for a steep drop off, right? So price has came up, and now we're struggling to make new highs, right? So not just once, right? So not just once, not just twice, but a breakthrough continuation failed, right? All in the same move after this huge bullish engulfing bar. So this could be an indication, right? Could be an indication, not saying it is today, that we could start heading down in a overall down move, similar to this, where it just tanks really quickly, really fast. So if that is the case, I want to be able to get into this opportunity for these sells. But as of right now, there's no guarantee to that. We are still in this bullish uptrend that has been forming. We had, for example, let's just show you. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right now we made a higher high technically with that wick. So if we pull back and break these lows and then come back up and fail to make a new high, then I would be anticipating that to continue to break lower. And this is on a weekly time frame. So I'm talking about over the next couple months, we might start selling off like crazy. But right now, right, we're looking at daily time frame. Daily time frame is bullish, right? So at the moment, I'm thinking weekly could become bearish at some point. So just be mindful of that. But as of right now, I am fully bullish on the daily. We have a little bit of a trend line here. We have this overall push up. We have this Fibonacci from A, B, right? We're waiting for C to come out. So once the 50%, and this is actually a really nice buy right here. Look at this. So this is some previous support and resistance zone right here. This is also our 50% pullback zone, right? And this is also a break and retest of this downtrend drawn here. So for all of these reasons, I would like to get an entry in this general area. So I'm going to go ahead and put a notification right above this spot. I'm going to put green light. I'm going to put a notification on to create. So now if price comes down to this area, this will notify me about prices cross this area, and now I'm looking for a buy opportunity only at that point in time. So I believe that we could either get some nice support at this previous support resistance zone here, or we could also get a different support resistance closer to the 61% where this key level zone is located, because this key level is also a very critical where it has a ton of rejections in this general zone. So we might not get all the way to the key level, right? We might make it just to this little top piece right here, in between the two other supports, like between this support resistance and this key level. So price could come down, tap this zone, or tap this zone and then continue up. And I would love to get into an entry opportunity on either area. I'm not going to be putting a pending order in as of today. I'm not currently worried upon that. I'm just worried about it coming down to my area, then showing me a buy opportunity. So that's all I got on GU right now. We could look at a 4-hour, but there's really not much to look at, to be honest, because we're in this overall daily uptrend. We had this double top that was formed right here, and as we already know, it's currently pushing down. So if you're day trading this, you could easily day trade this down to like these support resistance zones here, right? Price could pull back. Price could continue, right? Pull back to this zone, continue further down, pull back, continue further down, and then finally decide to give some momentum back to the upside and then continue pushing up. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. It's going to continue pushing down for a little bit over, probably most of next week, if not, depending on news events, right? News event, it could come all the way down here and then just reverse and then start heading back up. So other than that, that's kind of like what I'm seeing could occur. I can actually leave that on here. So therefore it's here. And yeah, that's pretty much what I see on the 4-hour of GU as of right now. Let's see. So let's go ahead and jump into our favorite pair, gold. Gold is definitely my favorite pair out of all of them. Now, gold and silver have been making some crazy moves lately. It's just been insane. So gold last week went and moved from $4,700 roughly all the way to $5,600. So it moved up $1,000 and then crashed in the same week almost the entire amount of the $1,000 all in the same time frame. So this is showing us where there's a high weakness in the sense of sellers coming in. So this is what I see on the daily. So on the weekly, you can't really see this too much, but on the daily, you can see this very, very well. So this is what I see and why this, came this far down, right? So we have right here, I can actually pinpoint it. Higher, low, copy, paste. We can actually move this one too. So higher, low here, right? So we have higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. We have this little bit of a higher high here, a minor higher low, but overall, this is the most structural higher low that we have before the all-time high. So if we take this Fibonacci zone, A, B, C, we can see that we already tapped the 50, already tapped the 61. All we need right now is a buy confirmation, and we're in and holding this trade up. This is what I'm seeing right here. We had, and this is why I'm not selling, we had price. This used to be the craziest move down. This was another crazy move down. Then price slowly just kind of came up and up, and you can see it gained momentum, more momentum, gained some momentum, lost a little bit, gained more, gained even more. This was the largest bar gold has ever seen. And then we had this wick that was then the largest bar we ever seen on gold. And then 3 days in a row, the largest bars formed. And this has now created the largest drop on gold thus far in its entire time of, being on here specifically. So with this said, yes, there's a lot of weakness here, you might say, and you might be like, oh, we're about to sell off like crazy. It's like, it's gold. Like, we're not going to sell off, too crazy in a sense. Like, yes, we could sell off, going back to the weekly. Like, yes, we could, right? But how far? That would be the question, is how far could gold really go? Gold could come down, right, to 2 points that I can see. Right here where these previous highs are, $4,365. The likelihood of that is probably a little bit on the low end. And then the second one is going to be $3,500. And the chances of this versus this one, the probability is probably like 5 to 8% of it actually coming here, of a probability. It coming here could be like 60-40, 60% not getting here, 40% chance of it getting here, right? Just because of the volume. Now, let's just talk a little bit about this volume and what I believe happened with this. So we have here price pushing up and up and up. And guess what people are doing when price is pushing up? We're buying, we're buying, we're buying, we're buying. We get more aggressive buying at the top. And guess what happens? Somebody decides, such as hedge funds that need to take some money out, decide to take all of their position based upon liquidity that came in here. And guess what? They sell. It starts pushing down. They continue to sell. And guess what happens? Stop losses, stop losses, stop losses. All of these minor higher lows are now invalidated, and their stop losses have just been regained into the market. So whether they were at break even, whether they're at a losing, or whether they got stopped out in profit, doesn't matter. All of them got stopped out. Like, looking at a 4 hour, looking at a 2 hour. Let's just look at a 2 hour, for example, right here, right? Just imagine if you bought anywhere on this entire uptrend. Look at this. This was the most recent higher low. This bar engulfed this higher low, showing bearishness. Price came back up, fell to make a high, created a bearish engulfing bar, and then took out this higher low, then immediately took out this higher low, took out this higher low right here. Then we took out this higher low. Then we took out this minor higher low. We took out this higher low that's more structural based. And then we even came all the way down to right where this last consolidation zone that price happened to just reject off of as of right now. So with this said, it respected this higher low so far, but when the market opens, we have to see if price is going to drop more, or if it's ready to just consolidate a little bit and then continue head up. But this is exactly what happened. Was all of these people were in buys, right? Holding forever, right? Hoping it to get to 8,000, 9,000, whatever the price was for them. And then unfortunately, there was a ton of volume that came in and just wicked them all the way out. So if someone, say, bought right here off of this higher low and was just holding it and moving your stop loss, holding it, moving your stop loss, holding it, moving your stop loss, holding it, boom, taken out right here off of their stop loss. And then guess what? How many people do you think did that all in here? Quite a bit. So that's why whenever right here, whenever you get this stop loss, you get this giant wick where people don't want to lose that much money. So they all start taking their losses. And once you get this bar, there's not usually that many more buyers coming in to like save the day. So this bearish engulfing bar, just like the big guys that were like trying to pull it back up a little bit, trying to buy scared money, and then they just tanked it, made it sell off like crazy. So that's pretty much what I see on gold. Very straightforward. I'm in the expectation based upon the daily time frame that we are still bullish as of right now. I believe that we are going to start consolidating either half or almost all of this week. And we're going to do something similar to this. So this exact move right here, where price came up, right? You can see price came up. Guess what happened? Consolidated, drop. Guess what? Consolidated, drop, right? So now that we dropped, right, we found this one then dropped a little bit further, found some footing, right, consolidated, and then started heading up. I believe that's what this is going to do, just with heavier volume, right? So these bars, you might think that these are small bars. They are really not. Like if you caught this bar, you would have made a good amount of money. Like any of these bars, you would have made a good amount of money because it's gold. Now, I think we're going to get a lot of volume spikes of like people trying to buy, people trying to sell, right? People getting caught in the middle of this consolidation before we overall buy. So once we get confirmation that we're done selling and we're starting to buy again, at that point, I will be looking for some buys. And as of right now, that is currently what I'm looking like. Price could get to this support level here. I don't believe it will, but it could, right? And if it does come all the way down here, then again, I'm just waiting for it to consolidate and then start buying up again. So once we start buying, wherever it finds its footing, as long as it's above this trend line, then at that point, I would be looking good. So if it does fall below this trend line, doesn't mean that's fully invalidated. It just means that it's weaker. So therefore, it might not continue past the previous high that easily. So cool. Yeah, and if it does that, it might create this again. You see how it comes down, comes back up, creates this like weak, like it's very weak. It barely made a new high. Like it didn't even make a new high, should I say? Sorry. And it came down, made a higher low. So the buyers were strong here. So I'm thinking this is what's going to happen again, where price comes down, comes up, makes a lower high, and then comes down, makes a higher low, and then pushes up. So that's what I can see happening right here, where price just kind of, it came down, it's going to come up, it's going to come down, and it's going to just have this very minor, weak break of structure, and then it's finally going to make some push, right? So that's what I got on gold right now. So let's just kind of keep that in mind for the remaining of the week. Let's go ahead and check out the NQ. So the NQ is pretty much just in this nasty consolidation zone. I was trying to take a trade on this one, but unfortunately it didn't pan out as well. So for that reason, I am just going to be waiting for a little bit longer. So pulling up the weekly time frame, simple. We have this overall high, this overall high or low, total of consolidation. You can see that we are failing to break these highs, and then price comes in, breaks the highs, and then crashes back down. So for these reasons, I'm thinking that we're going to start selling off soon for a little bit. Again, don't know for how long that would be because we were in this overall uptrend. But last time we saw, as we can see on the NQ, price came up a good amount, kind of consolidated for a little while, try to break a new high, and then just tanked, right? So we could be in that zone where we have this overall Fibonacci zone, and this is weekly wise. So we could be in this overall like weekly Fibonacci where we might come all the way down to this 50% zone before we start buying again. So if you just kind of look at this one where we had this overall higher low to higher high, right? Price came all the way down to like this 61% zone, 78 area. So we could have something like that again where price is pushed up, comes all the way down, and then continues to go higher at that point. So let's look at the daily just to kind of check it out. And I believe I'm going to skip the 4 hour on this one because it's not really, there's not much there, right? So we have this box here. I think I just need to move it over a little bit. Yeah, right here. Cool. So price came down, right? Just started kind of consolidating, trying to go up. Price broke through consolidation. I was thinking, okay, great. We're now selling off. We broke the structure. We now have this lower low. All we need is a lower high. We got a lower high right here. And then we sold it and then we gap down, which is great, but then we just rode all the way up here. Like, what the heck? So unfortunately, it just didn't work out in my favor. So I am waiting for price to break structure again. So breaking this structure and then giving us a pullback and then a continuation. Ooh. Sorry, it is 5:30 in the morning, so just a little tired still. So yeah, I am anticipating and waiting for a break of structure here, a pullback, and then a continuation. So that is all I'm waiting for as of right now. I wanted to keep that, but nothing else directly to look at this very moment. You could say we could switch this trend line to here now. Doesn't make too much of a difference whether it's here or whether it's here, to be honest, because this one has multiple touches. Plus, this one kind of shows that we had a break, kind of like a retest, and now we're dropping. And you can see significant amount of bearishness on this drop too. So that's something to kind of key in. Now, if we did add a trend line here, you could say after this trend line's been broken, then we could be selling for a pullback to this trend line. But there's only 2 touches. There's not 3. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 touches and a break and a retest already. So we could be looking for sells. Also, we have a double top right up here. So for all of these different reasons, I'm thinking sells. So that's literally all I'm thinking right now. I'm not looking for another sell until we have a break and a retest, though. For specifically a longer term trade to the downside. Now, what I could do, technically, I could look at how much this price action would be. So if I sold right when the market came in and I put my stop loss above these highs right here and I traded to the 50%, that's a 5-to-1. So I might just do that depending on where the NQ opens at, right? If it opens up here, that would be even better. And then I can add a little bit to my stop loss, making it a right up here, giving us some little extra flexibility in our stop loss zone. But yeah, other than that, I could put a stop loss here and then just kind of trade down to the 50%. Now I could hold it also and then take majority of my trade out at 50, but I could try to save it to a 6-to-1. But I'm aiming for a better entry point as well. So I could do like half my position on this, and then I could wait for a daily or a 4-hour to give me that lower high that I'm aiming for, and then I could be trading it all the way down. So we'll just kind of keep that in mind as an opportunity. If we gap all the way down here for some weird reason, kind of like what we did before with this big gap right here, if we gap somewhere down here or if we gap down here, right, then unfortunately I'm not looking to sell immediately. But if we actually are equal to, right, if we're equal to this area that we're currently at, or if we gap up a little bit in this zone, then I might be interested in just going ahead and adding a small sell position for about half of my position. So yeah. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and jump right into the S&P. So keep in mind that NASDAQ and the S&P are very, very similar. So you do have me aiming out my market structure right here. So it kind of looks a little weird with everything on this. So price, again, has just been really choppy lately. If we back out a little bit more, we can just kind of see where we came from. Very similar situation where we had price come all the way up, pulled back, and then now we're pushing all the way up again. And we can see, if we kind of just line this out, we can see that price is slowly getting weaker, right? And weaker and weaker, kind of like this little curve pattern. I don't know how to describe it, but you can see that it's slowly just getting weaker. So we are anticipating a bearish sentiment to change. So a sentiment to change to bearish for a little bit. And maybe we get a pullback to these highs right here. This would actually be like my ultimate play right here. So if we had higher low, higher high, And then we could pull back all the way to this zone here, right? And then buy, or we could pull back a little bit further to that 50% or even the 61% zone and then buy all the way back up. So these are my kind of key areas that I'm interested in buying again. But that doesn't stop me from having a possibility of a sell off. So again, if price comes up, and now we're on the daily time frame, if price comes up, and let me delete not that one, but let me get the other one. There you go, that one. Let's delete that one because that's not needed. We do have this overall higher low to higher high, higher low, and now we're trying to break the high, but now we're creating this double top and a bearishness. So again, if we come through and break this structure point, pull back, continuation down, I'm thinking we're selling all the way down here. So that is what I'm thinking about on the S&P. S&P and NASDAQ, again, very similar. I pretty much have them on the same kind of movement overall. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm looking like. So I might just need to trade one of the two. I believe the S&P usually worked out for me majority of the time more than the NASDAQ. But then the NASDAQ has a larger fluctuation in price action. So therefore, I'm trying to find out which one would be best suitable for me for overall movement, right? So you could have one. So I believe the NASDAQ might be more profitable because it has more dollar pips in a sense, or dollar value that it moves, right? So I know on futures it's ticks, but on forex exchange it's pips and everything. So that could play a difference in there. So I'm just kind of testing the waters, kind of seeing which one I want to play out. But yeah, this is what I have as of right now on S&P 500. Pretty much the exact same thing on NASDAQ. All right, let's check out silver. This is nuts. All right. So silver. This is silver on a weekly scale. We can see silver barely ever moved all the way back here, right? And now we finally started getting some momentum. We got a nice high, higher low, price pushes up, makes this kind of new high, and then just kind of pushes up on the weekly, comes up to this ultimate high here and just drops all the way down. So check this out. We went from $120 roughly all the way down to $73. If you did an estimated amount, it's dropped about 46-ish dollars in total. And if you think about previous silver, let's see, previous silver, all the way back here. The highest point it's ever been at was $49 and some change. This week, it dropped $46. The entire value that silver was at, only twice as an ever time span ever, right? It dropped the same amount of pips in one specific week. Technically, I think it was one day. Yeah, pretty much a day and a half. It dropped pretty much $46 in one single day. So this is just something to keep in mind where, yes, buying metals is great, but be very careful because there is a lot of sellers that are going to come in and just take their money. So we got to think about the larger people in the investment. They bought billions and trillions of dollars worth of gold and silver. And now they're like, dude, I took 1 billion. Now I'm up like 9 billion. Like I'm going to take, 14 billion, or I'm going to take 8 billion off the table, let my 1 billion ride. Like, yeah, there's people out there that are like taking advantage of this in the sense of like higher dollar value scale. So when that comes in, guess what? Liquidity drops significantly and it tanks fast. So imagine all the people that got in all the way down here, right? They can hold this move, but look at all that price that they just lost instantly, right? So just keeping that in mind, let's continue kind of going up and just kind of analyze silver overall. So we have this overall uptrend that was kind of forming. This bearish engulfing bar really destroys a lot of the structure that it was making. As of right now, the only pinpoint that I really would say is just utilizing this overall low right here to this overall high. And we got a 50%, 61% Fibonacci retracement. So the only other thing is kind of watch out for a 4-hour candlestick to show us buying action comes back in, just like gold. Wait for some buying action to come in, and then we're looking for some buys at that point. We can look at some, main like dollar value areas. So such as, let's go ahead and pull up the horizontal line. So like $100 line, we're going to look at the $90 line, right? So every like $10 roughly, right? And I'm just using these as an example. So therefore we have them, right? $80, $70. Look at this, $70 right before it was held. So like $75 was held very strongly, right? So that's just to kind of pinpoint. So $75 held very well, right? Kind of pushing, making it push back up. So we'll see if price opens, right? And then we kind of just teeter-totter around, and then we find some support where it finally breaks through and it starts making higher high, higher lows. And then that's it. Then we'll look for an entry at that point. So that's pretty much what I got on silver. We got two more to look at. UJ, I'm actually in UJ right now for a move. So I was in this overall move here where I saw UJ, or was it right here? We had a higher low, higher high. We had this nice pullback zone right here. We did have a gap, so I was expecting us to fill this gap at some point. Doesn't mean it has to fill this gap, but I was expecting that we could fill this gap as well. But that wasn't the reason why I got in. The reason why I got in was price came down to our 50%, which is our POI area, AOI area, kind of area like concept right here. I was expecting it could come down a little bit further, but then I looked at the daily. The daily was pushing down and started consolidating right at the 50. And then on the 4-hour, I noticed on the 4-hour, we had momentum push down, make us a lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low. This higher low, 50%, right, inside my area of interest. And I took a buy off of this bullish engulfing bar area. I believe I entered off of a 1-hour candlestick. But yes, I am currently in a buy position, and I am expecting to hold this overall. Let's see, for the Fibonacci zone. So I'm expecting this to come all the way up to 163 pretty much. So I'm expecting to hold this all the way here. It could go further, don't know. But as of right now, that's what I'm anticipating. If we do come up and we get, some bearish pressure coming in here, then I'll go ahead and get out, because price could come down a little bit further, to like the 61 zone. And then we could then start buying back up overall. But as of right now, I am in this nice buy, and I'm going to go ahead and move my stop loss on the 4-hour up with market structure. So that's pretty much how I'm going to be managing UJ as of now. Let's see. The only other one I got is US 30. And to be honest with you, US 30 has been not so great to me right now. So again, I'm still learning US 30, as well as like the NQ and everything. I'm still learning NQ and US 30. I'm pretty familiar with S&P 500. So yeah, pretty much out of all of our pairs that I have up here, I'm still learning silver, US 30, and NQ. Those are the main ones that I'm currently just still working on. So if I'm right here, and this is the weekly time frame, We have this higher low, higher high, higher low that's currently being formed right now. We have this minor higher low, higher high right here as well. So when we come over to a daily, just kind of show what's going on here. I was anticipating some buying action to take place since we broke the highs before. We retested and gained the 50%, 61, almost the 78, but rejected the 78. Pushed up, but gave some rejection, unfortunately. So right here, I should have got out of majority of my position that I was in because I was in this move, but then I held it for too long. It came back, stopped me out, unfortunately, and then it just kept on going lower. So at least I got out whenever my position told me to get out. So, but yeah, other than that, I need to focus on just seeing how the market plays out. Right now, it's just doji, 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 pretty much. So market doesn't really know where it wants to go yet. If we get another buy opportunity, right, I might get in for another buy, maybe off of a 4-hour candlestick pattern. But as of right now, on 4-hour, we have this higher low, lower high, higher low, right? And then we have this lower high, lower low, lower high, slightly of a lower low. So we are in a bearish trend as of right now on the 4-hour US 30 at the very moment. Now we are in this total top consolidation box. So unless this switches around for a buy and it starts becoming bullish, then I would become bullish. But right now it's just so choppy where it's literally, let me just show you right here. Delete, wick, 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 wick. Like it don't know where it wants to go. It takes the low, takes the high, takes the low, almost takes the high, right? Like takes the low, takes the high. Like it just doesn't know where it wants to go. So for that reason, I'm going to stay out until the direction is clear. So, all right, guys, that's pretty much all I have for today. Y'all take it easy and hopefully y'all have a successful week this week. I will be back tomorrow to conduct another pre-market analysis for my daily time frame, and maybe we can see about getting some entries off of tomorrow and see how that goes. So y'all take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.